This video was brought to you by Brilliant. The last major change to the world map occurred in 2011, when South Sudan declared independence. But there were plenty of territories and regions working towards achieving full independence and taking the title of newest country. So we're going to take a look at 4 places that may well be the next newest countries, and also the roadblocks that they may face. Let's start with the place that is most likely to achieve independence in the near future. Bougainville is an autonomous region of Papua New Guinea. The region includes the main island of Bougainville, plus a few smaller islands, and has, over the years, been under the control of Germany, Australia, Japan, Australia again, and then Papua New Guinea. But the region is, in theory, on the path to becoming a fully independent country by 2027. It's got a long history, but the key thing to know here is that there was a decade-long conflict from 1988 to 1998, during which the secessionist Bougainville Revolutionary Army established control of the main island. A peace agreement in 2001 between Papua New Guinea and Bougainville separatists established an autonomous government and promised a referendum on full Bougainville independence, albeit by 2020 at the latest. It finally took place towards the end of 2019, when Bougainvillians were asked to choose between greater autonomy or independence. The result was overwhelming, as 98% voted for independence on a turnout of 87%. The 2001 agreement stated that the referendum would be non-binding, and the final outcome subject to ratification by the Parliament of Papua New Guinea. As of now, it remains unclear whether Parliament will ratify or block the move, as there are concerns that Bougainville's independence could prompt other parts of the ethnically and linguistically diverse country to try and follow a similar path. The process of ratifying the referendum results in Parliament is meant to begin this year, with the implementation of the settlement, be it independence or otherwise, no later than 2027. So we'll have to wait and see. This next one is kind of cheating, as it technically wouldn't result in a new country, but we would need to redraw our maps as it involves the accession of an existing entity into another state, sort of like with Germany in 1990. That's right, we're talking about a united Ireland. Star Trek predicted that Irish unification would occur in 2024.
The independence of the Mexican state from Spain, the Irish unification of 2024, and the Kenzie Rebellion.
Yes, I'm aware of them.
But even the most optimistic Irish nationalists would say that timeline is unrealistic. Nonetheless, shifting politics and demographics do plausibly point to reunification in the future. Last year, for the first time in Northern Ireland's 100-year history, an Irish nationalist party, Sinn Féin, became the largest party in the Northern Ireland Assembly. Then, just a few weeks ago, at the local elections, Sinn Féin became the largest party in Northern Irish local government. The 2021 census saw Catholics outnumber Protestants in the region for the first time ever. All of this has dealt a political and psychological blow to Unionists, who want Northern Ireland to remain British. Meanwhile, south of the border in the Republic of Ireland, Sinn Féin narrowly won the popular vote in 2020, and is polling well ahead for the next election in a couple of years. But none of this means that Ireland unification is inevitable. For starters, Sinn Féin's recent electoral victories were influenced by a whole load of factors, and not just their stance on unification. In fact, a recent poll on both sides of the border found that achieving or preparing for Irish unity was a relatively low priority, while things like housing, healthcare, and the economy topped the list. Also, British unionism remains well established and represented, and Sinn Féin's growth can in part be attributed to the decline of another Irish nationalist party, the SDLP. The key to winning any future unification referendum will be winning over the non-aligned middle ground voters, of which there is a growing pool largely represented by the Alliance Party. Moving on, and a couple of thousands kilometres northwest from Ireland, Greenland is next on our list. The world's largest island is an autonomous region within the Kingdom of Denmark, having previously spent centuries under Norwegian, then Danish control. It was granted Home Rule in 1979, meaning it gained self-governing status, while Denmark kept responsibility for things like foreign relations, defence, currency, and the legal system. After a 2008 referendum, Greenland was given a higher degree of autonomy, and its right of self-determination was recognised. Greenland's recent path does feel like one heading towards independence. Pro-independence parties tend to get a combined vote share of around 70 to 80%, and the island's current government comprises two pro-independence parties. But these aren't the kind of parties that win elections and declare independence overnight. While there is some disagreement about the timing of potential independence, it's generally seen as a more long-term project that requires careful planning. Just a few weeks ago, the Greenlandic Parliament was handed a draft constitution that had been drawn up over the past 5 years or so, which is seen by the pro-independence majority as a step towards getting full sovereignty. Exactly what future Greenlandic independence looks like remains to be seen, as there's still plenty of work to be done before it's achieved. But one possible structure could be an independent Greenland in free association with Denmark, similar to what countries like Palau, Micronesia, and the Marshall Islands have with the United States. These countries are all fully sovereign states with UN membership, but have defence provided by the US and access certain US services and programs. We're heading back to the Pacific now, specifically to French Polynesia, which, as the name suggests, is an overseas collectivity of France, or, as it's officially designated, an overseas country. At the election in April this year, the pro-independence Tavini Huriatira party made significant gains and won an absolute majority in the French Polynesian legislature for the first time ever. The country is one of a couple of French territories on the UN's decolonisation list, something which France doesn't approve of. Regardless, an independence referendum would have to be granted from Paris, and this is something the new French Polynesian president believes is unrealistic in the next 5 years, but is possible in 10 to 15. This longer-term vision for independence likely stems from the fact that the pro-independence party didn't actually win a majority of votes. However, its sizable parliamentary majority does give it a strong basis and fresh impetus to push for a vote on independence in the coming years. The French Interior Ministry acknowledged that Polynesians had voted for change and that France had taken note of this democratic choice. So those are our main candidates for the next newest country. But obviously there are plenty of other possibilities. So let us know which places you think are likely to join the list of sovereign states anytime soon. When making videos like this, we rely on a ton of data analysis to interpret crucial economic data and understand political decisions. That kind of analysis isn't just crucial for our jobs. As our world becomes more driven by AI and data, your job will likely require more analytical skills too. Fortunately, you don't have to be left behind if you jump onto Brilliant. Brilliant is the STEM learning platform which can teach you all the skills you'll need in an increasingly digital workplace, from foundational and advanced maths to AI, data science, neural networks, and more. That means that the progression of tech and AI doesn't need to be intimidating. With easy-to-understand and interactive programs, you can level up your skills by spending just a few minutes a day on Brilliant. And you'll want to. Their programs have been directly built around the principles of active learning, so they're fun, interactive, and help you learn by doing. Plus, with new courses added all the time, there's no way you're getting left behind. To try everything Brilliant has to offer, free for a full 30 days, click on the link in the description. Plus, the first 200 of you will get 20% off Brilliant's annual premium subscription. As always, thanks to Brilliant, and thanks for your support.